Well, good evening, College Park, and welcome to the District 4 monthly virtual meeting. This evening, we have the pleasure to have Mr. Tawfiq Kareem, Abdul Kareem, from the City University Partnership Community Preservation Trust. He will do a presentation about what the trust is and begin to give you more information about how they're creating impact within the City College Park. So, Mr. Kareem, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tawfiq Abdul Kareem. I am the Senior Associate for the College Park Community Preservation Trust. We are a community land trust dedicated to creating and preserving affordable homeownership opportunities right here in College Park. So tonight, I want to briefly share a little bit about who we are, what we do, and why our work matters. So to get things started off, the Community Preservation Trust is a program of the College Park City University Partnership, which in and of itself is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with a board made up of local residents from College Park, representatives from the City of College Park, as well as the University of Maryland. We are one of 15 registered affordable housing land trusts in the state of Maryland. And our focus is hyper local. So we work within the 6 square miles that comprise the city. And our goal is to reduce barriers to housing and provide a source of permanently affordable home ownership opportunities for those seeking to buy within the community. So first, I'll start off with a little bit about why we exist and the challenge that faces us. So we all know that the housing market has become increasingly difficult to navigate, especially for first-time home buyers. Single-family home prices have skyrocketed. So the same homes that were about $250,000 10 years ago are now listed at $450,000 or more. And at the same time, we see that wages have not kept pace with that kind of growth, especially for households that are earning, low to middle or moderate incomes. Another interesting data point here is that according to the 2022 American Community Survey, about 37% of homeowners and 52% of renters within Prince George's County are experiencing a housing cost burden. So this means that they spend in excess of 30% or more of their annual income on housing costs, right? So in essence, that leaves a lot less on the table for essentials like food, savings, childcare, and other emergencies that can creep up. So what we found here is that this is more than just a market issue. It's really a long-term affordability challenge, and that's exactly where our community land trust comes into play. So the Community Preservation Trust offers a long-term solution through the land trust and shared equity models. So here's a little bit about how it works. So first and foremost, the trust purchases a single family home in College Park. So these are homes that are typically found on common real estate websites like Redfin and Zillow. We also have purchased homes directly through sale by owner opportunities, people who hear about the trust and they're interested in kind of getting involved. The second step is um, we renovate the home, right, to get it up to move in condition if need be, and then we work with to find a household to purchase the home. So we work with households that earn up to 140% of median family income as defined by HUD, and these numbers are they're updated annually and they're scaled for household size. So for a quick reference, a household of one person, 140% is about $160,000. For a household size of four. That maximum is about $230,000. So there's quite a bit of room for those who are looking to purchase with the trust. So next, the trust. Excuse me. Next, the buyer purchases only the improvements or the home itself, while the land stays in trust. So this is the essence of the shared equity model. And this structure is in place to significantly lower the purchase price for the buyer. So each home is carefully structured so that monthly housing costs do not exceed 30% of the buyer's income. So we all know that when you buy a home, there's a mortgage, right? There's a principal, there's interest on the mortgage, there's taxes, and there's insurance. So when we sell the home, we try to do our best to make sure that our buyer is set up for long-term success and their cost burden is at 30% or lower. The key thing is here, the next thing is when the buyer is ready to sell the home, the trust maintains a right of first refusal to repurchase the home and then resell it to another income qualified buyer under a similar affordability arrangement. And this basically helps, create permanent affordability for the property. So, the buyer, they can get in the home at a price that's affordable, build equity during their period of home ownership, and then when they're ready to move on, typically buyers who purchase a home in shared equity programs, they typically hold on to the home for about 13 years, right? When they're ready to move on, the trust will buy back the home and then sell it to another income qualified family, and then the process will repeat itself. So it's very important here. This isn't a short-term fix. We have tried our best to build a lasting system that provides affordability and community access over generations. So we have been pretty busy. So the trust began operation in late 2022, and we've hit the ground running. So, excuse me. So far, we've helped nine households purchase homes in College Park, all with cost burdens at or below 30%, which is pretty much unheard of within the county. Several of those families have also combined a trust purchase with another partnership program, which is the Live Work College Park program, and have gained an additional $20,000 in down payment assistance to further reduce their housing costs. So what's next is, we're very proud of what we've accomplished in our short time as a community land trust, and we're really excited to do more. Right now, the trust has currently sold its all of its homes, so our portfolio is empty. But we plan to continue home purchases late in 2025. In the meantime, we are still accepting applications. People who submit applications during this time will be added to our homebuyer waiting list, where applicants will have the opportunity to have a first look at new trust homes when they become available. Additionally, thanks to a $3 million grant from ARPA, a $3 million ARPA grant from the City of College Park, which was our primary source of funds over the last 2 years, we were able to create 6 new affordable homeownership opportunities. And because of our model, whenever we sell a home, we retain a little bit of the land, and then the money that comes back into the trust is recycled to purchase further homes for the trust and continue our mission. So effectively, we turned $3 million of ARPA funds into about $4.2 million or more in home purchases, and we want to continue to do that. And finally, your support and continued partnership is what helps to make our program a success. We are happy to connect with the district and other folks in the area to help the trust identify new properties, connect with potential buyers and sellers, and expand our overall reach within the community. So together, if we work together, we can make sure that College Park remains a place where people can not only come to work, but also live, grow, and thrive. And with that, I'll end my presentation. Thank you guys for your time and leadership, and I'll open it up for Q&A if there are any at this time.
Well, Tofik, I can say you were right on the market. 15 minutes, you've been practicing. No, just No,
Yeah,
thank you.
I
Thank
do
you.
this quite a bit. Of course, of
Okay,
course.
thank you. So, I'm gonna start, there's someone who raised their hand and I'm gonna recognize them, but I'm gonna start off with a, question that's my colleague, Councilman Mackey, if she has a question she wanted to ask. Maria?
I'm fine with waiting until
Okay,
others go. I might have one at the end, but I'll wait and let you and the
enough.
attendees go ahead and ask.
Okay. So Tawfiq, when we started this, process of talking, the city, started the process of talking about the housing trust, it was in, I intended and envisioned it as something to help to preserve the communities respectively in each part of the city of College Park as far as stabilization of making it more owner occupied versus rental. How do you see this housing trust actually facilitating that vision?
Well, I think what we try to do is get the homes that are affordable and offer them to those who want to be a part of the program. It's, you know, 9 homes in the span of 2 years is not, you know, it doesn't make a tremendous dent. But these people are homeowners, and they will probably remain in the community for a lot longer. So and then in addition, when those homes become trust homes, they stay trust homes for a long period of time. So because of the right of first refusal that the trust has on these properties, when one owner occupant moves out, another owner occupant will move in a short period of time.
Okay, thank you. I will now yield the floor to Ms. Perez. She has her hand up.
Hey, Arelis, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Ms. Perez is for the mayor. You can call me Arelis.
Go ahead, Ms. Arelis.
Thank you. So Tofik, quick question. I have several questions. Number one, is the website now updated? Because the last time I looked at the website, you still had Mr. Cunningham as the executive director. Has that
Yeah.
updated?
So the website updates are currently underway. So we're actually getting ready to launch basically an entirely new site. We're getting ready to go through user testing over the next few weeks, and then a new website will probably be live in June.
Okay, so that's one question. The second question that I have we created a more simplistic cheat sheet than the 50 pages of the land trust agreement that most purchasers really don't understand? And is it eventually going to be translated to Spanish? I know that the Spanish version will not be signed, but those that are Hispanic, they have difficulty understanding because the 49 to 50 pages of that land trust,
Right.
it's not for your common first-time buyer.
Yes, yeah, I hear you. So that's part of the website update. So one of the things that we're gonna try to that we're investing a lot of time into right now is to try to make sure that we have all the answers, all the questions and answers that you know have to do with the trust easily findable on the website. So that will be something that comes out in June. And then also we'll make sure that we do have these questions and answers translated to Spanish as well. So that's definitely part of what we're doing.
Right, as far as the application, and is still the Home Preservation Trust Board Committee, you know, yourself, are we still going through the process of being the loan officer with this intensive loan application of qualification, and then they have to go through the same process with the bank?
Can you say that again? I'm trying I
Okay,
kind of
so here's the thing.
lost. Can you rephrase that?
Okay, so I'll break it down to for layman's term. When people apply, your team is qualifying them as though you were loan officer and they're going through the same process with Sandy Spring or whatever affiliation partnership you have with whatever bank.
So there's a key distinction here. We don't offer any loans. Essentially, what we do is um, we contribute fund. Well, it's not really a contribution. We lower we retain equity in the land, right? And then we sell the home at a certain price. That person, they'll have to go out and get their own mortgage, whether it's from Sandy Spring Bank or PNC or whatever.
I'm very much aware of that, but your loan
Okay.
application that you have, your initial for the buyers is though you guys are qualifying the buyer and then they have to go through the same process with the lender. Has that changed?
No, that
Because
hasn't
under Mr.
changed.
Cunningham, that's how it was.
So our program, basically what we do when we get an application, we're evaluating the household to figure out, A, number one, are they income eligible for the program? And B, number two, what their household makeup is. And we try to make sure that we have a house that matches their profile, right? The financing side is completely separate from that. So what they're filling out for us is not a loan application,
I just
right?
said, but
It's a,
how intensive is that application? I've seen the application and, you know, so when the city employee that, that the transaction did not go through, you know, these are things that we discussed. So, I'm just saying, why hasn't that process been simplified?
um I mean, I'm trying to understand what the difficulty is like with the current process. If that
Okay, so in your application that you have the buyers apply for, how many questions are they filling? Is it a one pager, two pager, three pager, four pages? How many questions are there?
I mean, I'm not positive on the exact amount of questions, but it's about a 4-page document. So
Exactly,
yeah.
right. That was my point.
Okay.
So is that normal to speak in regards to, and I guess, um, for someone who's interested and this is their first time purchasing a home, is that
Yeah.
normal to fill out that, the number of pages in the application to see if they are a fit? Is that appropriate and is that normal?
It's pretty normal for community land trusts. It's like I said before, our goal is to try to get people to that 30% or below cost burden. And that requires us to do quite a bit of due diligence to make sure that the household is a good fit. I mean, 4 pages, if you got to fill out 4-page application to get a house at a reduced cost, I think that's a pretty fair trade. We try to make it as simple as possible so that when people submit an application, they know whether or not they're eligible to move forward with us before they approach a lender, right? So, you know, we're going to give them a green light and then ask them to go reach out to a lender and get pre-qualified, and then we can kind of pick up the process from there. Um, One of the things that we are working on is an online version of the application. So obviously this will cut down on a lot of back and forth. A lot of times, you know, folks will submit incomplete applications or not submit all their supporting documentation. An online application will kind of close those gaps in a way. So we hear you. We're trying to constantly improve our program and make things easier for people. But this is the process that we have as of right now.
Okay, Ms. Perez, any other questions?
No, I'll defer to others.
Is it Nick Kenny, that had a question? Okay, Maria, do you have any questions?
Yes, I would like to know, I too, like Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell, was led to believe that this was, and I see that it is somewhat, but led to believe that this was a attempt at keeping properties owner occupied rather than properties going to rental units. So, and some of the different neighborhoods were mentioned as, at-risk neighborhoods that are just going to rental, rental, rental.
Mhm.
Crystal Springs was one, College Park Woods even, Lakeland and other areas were. And so, my thing is, why should people like want to sell their house through the trust? That I'll let you answer that one. Then I have a couple more, like because a lot of people can get top dollar for their house because
Mhm.
investors are, you know, overbidding or whatever. So why should
Yeah.
people go to the trust and what benefit is it for them? I think that's very important for people to know that and understand that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I have a
that's a
few
very
more
good question.
questions too. So,
That's a very good question, Maria. I think first and foremost, from the people who've reached out to us and sold us their home, the biggest thing for them was that we're a mission driven organization, right? We try our best to steward the homes and the land that we acquire to be able to help folks in the long term, right? When it comes to buying homes, there it is it's a very it's kind of a tricky thing to navigate because the areas where the homes are where the areas of College Park where there are high renter levels are also areas where the homes are more expensive, right? And you mentioned Old Town. Homes in that area are approaching 700 $800,000. And there's only so much that we can do as a land trust in order to sell that to retain land and then sell that home at an appropriate price to a buyer, within the price range that within the income ranges that we have. Not to mention the price, the work that and the money that needs to be invested into, potential renovations, or the upkeep of the home while we have it. So I wish we could buy every home in College Park. I wish we can outbid the investors, but I would say the main thing for people who are looking to sell a home is that they know that a trust home is going to be a permanently affordable home, right? That home is going to go to a good household, to a good family, and they will be able to live in the home for as long as they want to live in it, and then when they're ready to pass it on, it'll go to another family, and the process will continue. um I hope that answers your question. If you had another one.
I do. Um, so that answers that question that if you want to sell your home to the trust, what you're doing is you're putting your home into a trust that will ensure that the home is owner occupied. And they do get market value for their homes, so it does behoove people to go with it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So
Um,
another thing that I will say about the home purchases, whenever we buy a home, there's two things that we require. First thing is that we require an inspection of the home to make sure that we confirm the condition of the property. The second thing is that we perform an appraisal on the home, right? So we get the home appraised by a third party to confirm value. Um, and then also, I mean, obviously, we want to make sure that we're paying the right price for the home. And then also, when it comes to, you know, all of our home purchases are done in cash, right? So there's no loan obligation. There's nothing, kind of impeding the seller from getting their full, their getting paid out full market value for their home. So with cash purchases, it allows us to you know act swiftly and purchase properties and get the transaction done quickly. So
okay. Yeah, that's answering that question very nicely. Thank you. So my second question is, let's say somebody wants to buy a house and they want to go through the trust. So they go to the website and the website has what different houses are available, and presently there are no houses that are available through the trust. Did I understand that correctly?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, so like what is the timeline? Let's say there's um a person that comes and they talk to me. I'm a council member in College Park and they want to come and live
Mhm.
in College Park. What is like the timeline if they decide to go the trust route?
So if they wanted to go the trust route, the first thing they would need to do is submit an application, right? That application can be downloaded from the website, or when the user portal becomes active, they can submit the application there. Processing takes about 1 week, so we'll evaluate the applicant, and then we'll reach back out to them within about a week or 10 days. When we reach out to them, right, we'll let them know if they're a good fit to move forward. And at that point, we will schedule an intake meeting, right? So that intake meeting, they'll have, everyone in the household, all the decision makers in the household, their real estate agent, and they'll also be encouraged to reach out to a lender before the meeting, right? So that they're able to come to the meeting with a pre-qualification in hand. We already understand their income, we already understand their affordability, their affordability tolerance, right? And we would have already kind of structured the deal in a way that meets that 30% mark. At that point, if everything is approved, we then we seek approval from the trust advisory committee. Once they approve the sale, we then have the agent write a contract for purchase, right? So they'll submit a contract to us, and then from there it pretty much goes as a traditional home sale. Closing typically takes place within 30 to 45 days after the intake meeting. And then the process is normal from there on out. So I would say from start to finish, about it takes about 2 months in order for this to fully go through.
Okay.
So
I think Ms. Perez has some questions she put in the Q&A box.
okay, so who are the affiliated lenders for the community preservation trust? So we have worked with 3 lenders as of right now on the 9 homes that we have currently sold. The first one is First Home Mortgage. Fellow there by the name of Jack Hinder is the loan officer who works with us. We work with PNC Bank. I forget, I think the woman's name is escaping me right now, but we work with the local College Park branch, PNC. And then also we work with First Home Mortgage, or no, not First Home Mortgage. What am I saying? Sandy Spring Bank. A fellow there by the name of Rod Moody. So those are the 3 major lenders. But also when it comes to lending, the thing about it is I get messages from lenders all the time who are like asking me about how they can become a lender for the trust. I make sure to emphasize to everyone who submits an application that they're free to go with whatever lender they choose, right? The main thing is that the lender would need to be compatible with our affordable housing land trust agreement, right? That separation between the land and the home is kind of um it's not common for lenders. So every lender is different. Our website has a copy of the Affordable Housing Land Trust Agreement that could be downloaded and sent to the loan office, and they can review it and ask questions. And essentially, they would have to approve us. So that's what I would say about affiliated lenders. Next, she asked, is the Home Preservation Trust still using Universal Title and Capital Title as the preferred title companies? Again, you're able well, yes, we have used Universal Title on pretty much all of our sales. but we use them because they're familiar with our model, and you know, it helps our transactions go through smoothly. Next is the Home Preservation Trust still using the listing agent team from EXP in Baltimore. So yes, we are still using Homes Glorioso at EXP Realty. Our brokers there are Kim Lowley Homes and Carly Miller. So they work very closely with us on all of our purchases and sales, and they've been really great for us. Um, so um, every buyer that we work with, they have they have an opportunity to choose whichever agent, whichever real estate agent to represent them on their side. But when it comes to our purchases and sales, we work with EXP Realty on our
So,
side.
so Tawfiq, thank you for that response. So two, I guess, question, maybe their statements, going to what you just talked about, the realtors. And maybe I'm having a senior moment when I say this, and I say that in a pleasant manner. I was under the impression, and I thought we were trying to see how we can work with realtors in the College Park area because they know the sense of the landscape, and
Right.
they have a better touch and finesse about how to um get some of the actual properties that are in your trust uh cadre through the finish line. So I thought that was one of the intentions, was to look at a cadre of realtors in College Park. Is that not true, or you haven't had the opportunity to do that?
Well, I mean, when it comes to, I mean, EXP Realty is just who we've gone with. When they've been with us before I got here, right? So Daniel is largely responsible for that. But when it comes to, you know, who people choose to work with, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we let them know. We have a list of College Park realtors, right? If they don't have an agent, we'll
Mm-hmm.
send them a list of local realtors to work with. And but at the end of the day, it's really their choice, right? Like we're not gonna force
Correct.
anybody to go with anybody, right? We'll make a suggestion, and it's their choice. Um,
No,
ultimately.
and I appreciate that. I guess I look at things always in a collaboration type of situation. You have realtors in the city contract with several realtors, fantastic realtors. And I just thought that this would be a win-win if part of the listing would include some of them who'll be interested and understood the housing trust concept to start talking to people who may be interested to come in the city, or those who may
Hmm.
be interested, long-term homeowners who may be interested in selling their property. They can be your advocate, your champion to help go to the housing trust. So I hope that is something you can take back for consideration, is expanding that list to include some realtors from College Park, because a lot of them are very much interested in what the concept, but would like to learn more about it. And also, to me, on the flip side, would kind of help us to stabilize our neighborhoods with people
Yeah.
who are going to be investing in the long term for home ownership. Um,
Yeah.
and so the other statement I would like, or
Mm.
request, is part of your mission is to look back to what we and my Councilman Mackey and I were thought was our first impressions about stabilizing neighborhoods, because owner investors are taking over, and Councilman Mack is correct. They're outbidding people in a day, and they're paying
Yeah.
$700,000-800,000 for a house. I can tell you where we live here in the western area of College Park, the house might be sold in less than a half an hour.
Yeah.
The investors purchasing it, and
Right.
it's being flipped not for another owner occupied, but as a business model, and
Hmm.
it's hurting our neighborhood and our quality of life. So I make the request that I voted for the housing trust, but if you can also align with the track of using it for affordability, to go back to the beginning to help preserve our neighborhoods, because we have
Hmm.
um some real alarming needs in District 4,
Yeah.
Crystal Springs area. It's 95% rental, 99% rental
Yeah.
property, and 1% owner occupied. In College Park Woods, we're at a tipping point. It's only 520 homes. And we're at
Hmm.
a tipping point where we have a mixture of investor, Airbnb, and non-owner occupied. So
Yeah.
it's not helping us to sustain the home values. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm concerned about, our home values.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. It, like I said before, like I wish we can buy every home. I wish we
True.
could purchase a $800,000 home and sell it to somebody at $300,000. But I mean,
No, I
we'll
understand.
continue we'll continue to work. I mean, we'll continue to work to find more creative solutions and try to get in front of those investors. But it's a challenge for us, right? We can't we can't buy every home. We can do what we can. Most of the homes that are within the price range to purchase
Mhm.
are kind of in the southern end of or areas like
Right. I understand
Hollywood
what you're
and
saying.
Berwyn. Um, but it's a challenge that we're constantly working at, and I'll take my suggestions back to the team, and we'll try to improve our program based on the comments that you've given,
Mhm.
and the questions that you've asked, but we'll
I
continue to
know.
do our good
Yeah.
work.
No,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I know we just started, and you're trying to get a good foothold in making the right decisions. I just think there's always opportunity to think out the box and make things maybe work a little bit better. You hear about what's going on in Baltimore City, how
Oh yeah.
at Coppin State they have their own housing trust to help with
Yeah.
student affordability. So we're in we call ourselves a city within a college town. So we're looking at that,
Uh-huh.
like how that can help us. And then I look down and talk to my colleagues down in the southern parts of the states, like Texas,
Yeah.
and how they're doing. They have a housing trust, and I'm like, okay, so could we? There's mixtures of things that we could do to make it have a win-win all around for
Hmm.
us. So it's just if we can keep the doors open for conversation, but also to really engage our communities and the real estate community. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if he had the opportunity, and I don't want to to meet Mr. Dwayne Mingo. He's over the real estate
Uh,
association. Um,
okay.
and he's like,
Dwayne Mingo.
yeah, Dwayne Mingo. Um,
Okay.
and he was like, I never heard about this housing trust, and but would
Yeah.
love to sit down with the trust to talk about it. So I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
stop talking.
One thing I will say, I mean, we're always looking to educate anyone, buyers, non-buyers, agents, realtors, lenders, what have you. One thing that I will say about that is that we host an information session the last Wednesday of each month. Right. So it's in a Zoom setting just like this. It's a virtual meeting.
Mhm.
I'll give my presentation. I'll open it up for questions and answers. And a lot of people, they leave that meeting, with more answers and questions, right? And we get applications from that. So it's the meeting isn't just limited to people who want to buy homes. If you're a local real estate agent, or if you're a lender in the area, we're happy to host you, and we encourage those people to attend. If you're looking for that those sessions, if you go to Google and you type in Community Preservation Trust Eventbrite, we have all of our events posted on our Eventbrite page. So you can register there, and they'll send you out a Zoom link, and then you can join the last Wednesday of the month. This month, I would say, so the next meeting is on the 28th, right, which is next Wednesday.
Mhm.
Um, but the following meeting, the following the following meeting in June has been shifted, I believe, to the last Tuesday of the month, because we have a board meeting on Wednesday.
Okay.
So other than that, the last Wednesday of every month is pretty much where you can join and have your questions answered and learn a little bit more about the trust. Again, go ahead and check out our Eventbrite page. There's also links on the partnership's website to our Eventbrite page. So if you ever get lost, you can go through those avenues to find it. And then also, I'm always checking my email. If anybody has any questions, they can submit. They can send me an email at info@communitypreservationtrust.org, and I'll respond to them there, and keep the ball rolling. So
Okay, okay. No, we thank you so very much. Yes, Maria, go ahead.
If no one else has a question, I think it
Go
would
ahead.
be really important to explain the whole thing with the 99 years of owning the land. I think that is something I can't get my brain around it. So,
uh,
and I've been exposed to the trust since the very beginning, and I think that what that would help people to really understand
mhm,
the trust, and that the land is separate from the building, and that the preservation trust actually owns the land. Okay, I'm
mhm.
gonna let you do it. Okay, thank you.
Oh, one thing I will say about the 99-year affordability, the 99-year affordable housing land trust agreement, right? So it is an agreement that lasts for 99 years. Most people have like a 30-year or 40-year mortgage. Some people might see that mortgage all the way through to the end. Like I said before, most buyers in shared equity programs, they tend to live in the home for about 13 years. I will say that, once people pay out their mortgage, they own the home and they're able to, live in the home for the remaining 99 years. That 99-year agreement is renewable, right? So they can renew it for another 99 years. The home can also be written into people's will, right? So they can pass the home down to their family members and keep the home within their family unit. But I hear you. I hear you. We're gonna we're gonna try to make sure that the message comes across clear, and that's part of the updates we're doing, in kind of this down period that we have between buying homes.
Great
Okay.
information. Thank you, Maria, for asking that. Any other questions of the audience? So again, I'm going to say this has been a very short and sweet and to the point presentation this evening. But again, Tawfiq, thank you so very much for coming from the Community Housing Preservation Trust. We do appreciate the work that you do, and we look forward to the continued collaboration and conversation, because you will be back. I sent you just
Yeah.
sent you an email. So myself and my colleague, Ms. Mackey, so we can definitely make sure everyone gets the information, because it's something of value for us.
Yes.
To do. So
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
everyone for attending. And Kenny, we can post this. We can have it posted to the city website, or
I'll work with staff to see how we can get that done.
okay. And thank you for helping us navigate. We appreciate you, Mr.
Arella
Young.
has her hands up again.
Oh, okay. Ms. Perez.
So, Tofik, before you leave, can you address when the home buyers do home improvements to the home, how that works?
Okay, so every improvement that is done to the home basically needs to be evaluated by the trust. So I mean, obviously we're not talking about like painting the walls or anything. I'm talking about like real like a renovation to a bathroom or an additional unit or additional level into the house or something like that. We would evaluate the costs. Basically, we evaluate the improvement that's being done, and then we have a conversation with the seller to figure out exactly how much that will add in equity to their share, right? We haven't had any of our buyers as of yet do such an improvement, but it's a very transparent, very clear conversation between us and the buyer about how those improvements will be added to their equity share.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. You continue to have a great evening despite the rain that's coming down again.
Yeah.
And have a great rest of your week and weekend, and hopefully we will see you Monday at 11 o'clock for our Veterans Memorial Day event at 11 o'clock across the street from Rita's on Baltimore Avenue. Take care, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tawfiq.